All right, cool. So this is the first live stream that I'm doing from my laptop. It's a yoga two-in-one. I've only got 36% battery life. So that's going to be the limit of when story time is over. So this is the story of why my house presently on December 30th, 2025 in central Pennsylvania is 51 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm looking at my thermostat right now. 51. Not by choice. Not by choice at all. So we bought this house. We love this house, my wife and I. It's been a great family house. Almost 3 years ago, January of 23, from a lovely couple, the Hoovers. They just breed pastors. The dad was a pastor. The one son is a pastor. Hopefully, actually, said son and I, we've worked together previously. Hopefully, we'll be able to meet up and our kids will have a play date. Sorry, phone header address. Okay, doesn't look like anything pressing. Okay. So we bought the house January of 2023, and it's about to be January of 2026. So that's 3 years we've been in the house. And when we bought the house, we knew it had an oil furnace. Previously, our house was in Altoona, in central Pennsylvania, Blair County, and it had natural gas lines. We love the natural gas. After a full year there, I added up all of our natural gas bills, divided by 12, and boom, I said, wifey, that is the amount we're paying, regardless of what the bill says. Because what happened was we bought the house in Altoona and we bought the house in end of April, summer, spring, summer weather, nice climate for Pennsylvania. Our heating bill was 25, $30 every month. It was lovely. It was amazing. Problem was, come December, come January, boom, all of a sudden $300 natural gas bill. Didn't see that coming. And as first time home buyers, that shocked us way out of left field. So I was like, yeah, I'm not letting that happen again. So I ran a simple analysis. Once I had a full year's data, added up all 12 months, divided by 12, boom, it gave me an average of what we should pay. It came out to $100 a month, which for heating a roughly 1,300 square foot home in central Altoona as our starter home was fine. Like $100 heating bill, no problem. Well, now we've moved into a bigger house. I think almost like 3,000 square foot, finished basement. We basically only live in the upstairs, but we've got plans for a big family to grow. We have 2 kids presently. The talks are maybe baby 3. Eh. We'll see where where life takes us. Um, so obviously, it takes a lot more to heat this home, and it's on oil heat, an oil furnace. So after about a full year, did the same analysis, added up, or not really even analysis at that point because it's oil. I was just kind of tracking when we, dip in the tank, seeing how much oil we had, having to pay for um, oil and stuff, and it was coming out to basically needed to put away $200 a month in oil. That's a pretty big heating bill, especially when you went from heating. But I guess you double the size of the home. I guess it makes sense that you'd have to double the size of the heating bill. So again, 50 degrees. I need a blanket. So I happened to be scrolling Instagram not even a month ago and didn't realize because I'm not much of an Instagram user. I'm more of a Facebook, Twitter, or sorry, Zit guy. Twitter plus X plus Twitter, formerly Twitter equals Zit. So I'm more of a Zit Facebook user, and I'm scrolling through IG stories because I love stories. I love to be able to kind of see like what's have the pulse on what the people I follow what they're doing, particularly the local sphere. Because to me, it's like Facebook's very local. It's your neighborhood, people you've interacted with IRL typically, or that you've made friends with virtually, online. Zit is just globally. You can voice out to the void, and whatever happens, happens. Cool. And Instagram's kind of like that weird middle ground of like you can kind of have followers in the nebulous, but also it's very local to your neighborhood. Like, so Instagram kind of feels weird to me. Like, I don't know how best to approach it, but I want to because I have some family that really uses Instagram, and so I want to be able to connect with them on Instagram. Plus, it's a decent way to really quickly spin up like a picture with captions and like, not captions, overlays, and all that kind of stuff. Like it's a pretty good graphic design tool. And as a tool man, not Tim the tool man, but Jackal the tool man, always down for a good tool. So I want to start using Instagram, and I'm scrolling through stories, and along comes the survey. I love to take surveys. Surveys are like borderline crack to me, but maybe 2 or 3, and then I'm done. So I guess in that sense, they're more like chocolates. I'll have like 1 or 2 Snickers, mini size, fun size, and then I'm done. So I'm taking the survey, and it's like, could you use a new heating system? Well, duh, who couldn't? And lo and behold, within like 7 minutes, I have a scheduled appointment for a free quote from Top Line Heating and Air out of, I believe, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay, I'm down for free. I like free. Free's good. Free's good. I can talk your ear off and ask you questions till I'm blue in the face, till you're purple in the face. And at the end of that conversation, if you've made a good sales pitch, maybe we do some business. Well, that's what happened. Unfortunately, through that 2 to 3 hour long sales pitch with the salesman, who's not really a salesman because apparently he's a project manager, but he's also doing sales. We agree. We come to an agreement that if the wifey agrees, because ultimately the house is 50-50, 50% mine, 50% hers. I can't agree to rip out my oil furnace and uproot my heating system without her approval, without her knowledge. Like, that to me is just basic common courtesy within a marriage that's 50-50. So she works third shift. She was napping, and hello, viewer. So once she wakes up, the salesman from Top Line Heating and Air, we agree, like, hey, let's try to figure this out. Let's give her a quick summary, because everyone's got deadlines. Salesman wants to be on his way. We want to have our house back, like all that jazz. And so we kind of break it down, and we knew that summary was going to be needed. So I was doing some things with AI, and I was recording. He knew it was an audio recording. I did a fancy thing. In fact, you can look at my YouTube video on this channel of how to convert an audio text file into an AI generated summary. Really useful tool with the fancy typewriter that is AI chatbots. So we presented her the summary. We get that taken care of, and more or less we come down to like, hey, for $250 on a loan, 7% for like 15 years or something like that, we can get you, rip out that oil furnace. We can upgrade your 100 amp panel electrical to a 200 amp service panel, all that included, for $225 a month. And I'm like, we've been paying oil $200 a month, and I used to run an electric vehicle, and like our AC was like not optimal. So like the AC was kind of like behind par. So like you're telling me that a heat pump, top of the line, best thing at a discounted rate because it's year end, wanting to close stuff, like everything just felt like too good to be true. Well, and obviously when it's too good to be true, it is too good to be true. Originally the sales pitch was a 1-day install. We are now entering the 3rd day of install for Top Line Heating and Air, because day 1 was installing the outside unit. Day 2, which took like a week and a half after that, was supposed to be, we thought, just the electrical upgrade from a 100 amp service to a 200 amp service. No, turned out day 2 was both the electrical upgrade and starting the install of the inside unit of the heat pump. But what that set of technicians did not know was, hey, there's a cinder block platform that needed ripped out, and there's this, and there's that. There's all kinds of hiccups, which, believe me, as a software developer, I know that hiccups are a thing. I think it's either Hofstadter's law or Parkinson's law. If you time budget a task, double it as a minimum, just baseline. If you tell your brain, hey, it's going to take a week, no, it's going to take 2 weeks. If you say, hey, this task is going to take me 5 minutes, no, minimum going to take 10 minutes. And the paradox is, even if you account for whichever one it is, Parkinson's law or Hofstadter's law, it's still going to require you double what you budgeted. I don't know why. And then whichever one's not that, it's like paradoxically inclined, where like if you tell yourself that, hey, this is going to take me a week, it's going to take you at least a week to do it. It's time management is just, we humans are terrible at it. Seemingly it's in our wiring, it's in our DNA to just not understand time. plain and simple. Hofstadter's law and Parkinson's law. Look them up. So right there is the 10-minute version of why I'm sitting here in central Pennsylvania in 20-degree outside weather with 50-degree inside weather, bundled up. Thankfully I have some very comfy pajama pants that have like wool fur inside, and yeah, it's just it's a bit frigid. It's just a little frigid in here. I gotta clean up this mess. There's a lot of toys, and our robo vacuum needs to run later. So that's what I'm gonna go do. Thank you to anybody who was watching this live. Thank you to anybody who finds the VOD later. Hopefully you've taken some solace out of this. If not, maybe some entertainment, a piece of advice, just something. But odds are you've been on YouTube too much. You've been on the internet too much. Close out, step away from the device, go touch grass, breathe fresh air, and then after that, go do something amazing. Rock on.